Professor Dr. Mateus Mutola, PhD, from Mozambique. Did I get that right? Professor Dr. Mateus Mutola is a professional speaker, international co-author of 5 best booksellers, an ambassador for World Civility, international vice chancellor at UGCSI, USA, president of the World Changers Initiative, CEO of Mamu Coaching, and is a the new words, vlogger for the Dr. Manu Show program. Professor Mateus Mutola from Mozambique, professor, is the genius code breaker who helps professionals and entrepreneurs discover their purposes and awaken the genius in them in order for them to maximize their potential, enjoy a life of impact, and establish an indelible mark and leave a legacy for future generations. Professor Mutola is a professional speaker, like I said, and also the I think I was just repeating myself there. So let me use this opportunity to just welcome Professor Mateus Mutola from Mozambique. Our I don't know if you got the letter since last year. Our YYC president of Mozambique. You are welcome, sir.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, probably good evening, depending on where you're watching us. I want to say thank you so much, Mama Lucas, for having me back into this wonderful program. I wonder if you guys can hear me well. Is my
Yes. Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mama. Whenever I talk to Mama, I was talking to Mama thing last week, and I was saying, Mama, thank you so much for being a great inspiration. Because every time I watch Mama's program, the way she's carrying on, the work she's doing, the way she has embraced her assignment, to me is a really great challenge. I'm based in Mozambique, Africa. There are about, I think, 15 countries or so in our region, 10, 15 countries in our region. And Mozambique is the only country in the region, Southern Africa, which does not speak English. So all our neighbors on the borderlands, they all speak English. We have Swaziland, we have South Africa, we have Malawi, Zimbabwe, around our country, like borderlands. And we are the only ones speaking Portuguese. That's why when I look at Mom, I get so inspired. And the man, I got to keep on pushing on to wherever possible. The Lord allows me to go. Excuse me. If possible, Mama, I'd love to share. I don't know how this is done. I love to share my presentation like PowerPoint. I don't know if I can this is the PowerPoint I want to be sharing. I don't know if you can connect it. I don't know how it is done. So, and how I can see now I'm the co-host, but then how do I go to the sharing screen, right? And okay, this is it.
And then you click. Good. Absolutely. Okay. Wonderful skills.
Oh, wow. Anyways, so this is I see them just, okay, wonderful. I'll be talking about the needs for fathers today and tomorrow. If schedule plan did not change, I'm be sharing today and tomorrow. And today I've just been the introduction. Excuse me. I'll be speaking about the need for fathers today. And then tomorrow we continue. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be delving more on how someone can be a present father. Now, in this, it's like my slides are not moving.
You need to click the button or to
Come again, please.
Yes. Who is the expert in the building? Because
Can you help us, please?
can we help us? Can you help Professor, please, to move the slides?
Yes, you'll be selecting it page by page. Like this is the first page, I think I saw. So you have to click on the second page, then it will be showing.
I have to click on the second page. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, way mother.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yes. Okay.
So basically, this is what we'll be delving into. The speaker's profile, Mama already spoke about, then a little bit on the purpose of the class, this meeting. Then I'll go and build a little bit on the humanity's greatest cry. That's what I consider to be. And then number 4, we'll look at the characteristics of an absent father. Number 5, we look into the emotional consequences of paternal absenteeism. And number 6, we will delve into what happens when a father is present in the life and the education of his own children. And then last but not least, we will look into the power of fathers just for today. And like I said, tomorrow we will delve more into this. We will look at how can someone become a present father. Now, this is about my profile. The professor read Dr. Lucas or brought it about. Let's look at what I consider to be world chaos, one of the causes or main causes of the chaos in the world today. We know there's a lot of wars, a lot of things going on in the world, and the world people that work for the UN and other organizations are trying to sort out and trying to resolve the issue of the chaos that's taking place in the world today. And I want to just come with a suggestion that, according to my understanding, what could be not the main reason probably, or not the only reason, but probably one of the chief reasons behind the chaos in the world today. And this one, I got it from this scripture in the Bible, in the old, I love reading, so I got this in the Bible. And it's a kind of a prophecy brought by Malachi. And this is what it says: He will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers. Or else I will come and strike the land with a total destruction. Let's look what would be the purpose, one of the reasons for the coming of the one who will be fulfilling this prophecy. He'll have the task of turning the hearts of the fathers to their children, and also the hearts of the children to their fathers. Then he says, if this turning of hearts does not come to pass, then I will come and strike the land of the earth with total destruction. Now, this scripture makes me understand that or believe that the root cause for most, if not all, social problems could be the absence of fathers. We're talking about drugs, alcohol, prostitution, wars, poverty, suicidal tendencies, depression, premature and unwanted pregnancies, just to mention a few. It could be that the chief reason behind all of this, and plus many other antisocial behaviors, could be the absence of fathers. And this scripture also alludes to the fact that the erosion of patriarchal authority might have led to the rise of the modern women, whereby women, those in relationships, those who are married in particular, want to take the role of their spouses. They want to become the heads of the family, plus many other tendencies that modern women today are developing. It could just be maybe because they did not have a proper father figure, or a male figure, a present father or a male figure to influence them. And this goes also together with the high rise, of undisciplined children, and also, like I said before, antisocial behavior. In other words, I believe that fatherlessness could be, if not, is the most destructive trend, in our generation. Let's look at what I consider to be the greatest crime of humanity today. And I want to propose that the greatest crime of humanity today is the absence of a father or a paternal figure. And the reason why I'm saying this, let me just bring some studies, because I did some studies to find out what is science saying about this, when I happen to say that the greatest crime of mankind is the absence of a father or a paternal figure. And this is what studies are saying, right? Paternal absence causes a lot of suffering and can lead to emotional scars that can last for a long time. For example, statistics says that 71% of pregnant teenagers do not have a father. 63% of youth suicides come from fatherless homes. 85% of all children who present behavioral disorders come from fatherless homes. 8% of rapists come from fatherless homes. 85% of all youth in prisons do come from fatherless homes. And these just a few which I brought to share with us here, but the list goes up to about 15, it's not 16 studies presenting the harm of fatherlessness or of people being raised without fathers in their homes or in their lives, either biological parent, father, or a paternal or a father figure. Now, let's look at some characteristics of absent fathers. Number one, an absent father there's a lack of empathy. He has a lot of emotional connection with the children and the people in general. An absent father often maintains a superficial relationship. He does not create emotional bonds with his children. In fact, he does avoid it all, getting emotionally connected with his children. Number two, he builds or develops or hangs on what I call emotional immaturity. Normally, people who have not matured emotionally have difficulty engaging in relationships. They do not want and avoid accepting growing up. They avoid obligations and are often toxic people. Emotionally immaturity can be caused by childhood trauma. And this is what our therapists are saying. Emotional immaturity can be caused by childhood trauma. So men that did not have father figures in their lives, or these men live as if they were teenagers and are not able to express their emotions. Like, we grew up, but we never are allowed, by whatever reason, or don't allow ourselves to express our emotions. So at the end of the day, there is immaturity in as far as our expression of our emotions are concerned. Number three is what I call irresponsibility. Most absent fathers made the decision, consciously or unconsciously, to escape the responsibility of raising a child. At the end of the day, they act as if the child did not exist, leaving all responsibilities to the mother or other caregivers. Number four, we have egocentrism. Absent fathers only look at their own navel. In other words, they are only concerned with themselves. No one else matters in their lives or in their world. So the absent father makes his plans as if his children did not or do not exist. They prioritize other matters such as work, money making, social life, sports, etc. They just focus on any other thing but their own children. And then, number five, there's what they call obsession with work. Absent fathers are so obsessed with their work. In fact, they hide themselves in their work. Many absent fathers are workaholics and may spend more than 14 hours a day just working, either at home or at their office, at their workplace. They bury themselves in their work. If they want to provide or give their children what we call better life, that's what they'll use like as an excuse. I'm working, I'm providing for you this, I'm giving you the latest iPhone, I'm paying you, you're schooling, schooling at a very expensive private school, I'm giving you this car, I'm giving you this and that. I mean, you have a nice, latest clothes, and food in the house, so I'm working to provide for you. They're basically avoiding connecting with their children. So they never have time for their family. Even during holidays, they cannot disconnect and have quality time with their children. Their professional ambition is above all. They're driven by their professional ambition. And this is not just number one, it becomes all in and by itself. So let's look at what are some of the emotional consequences of the absent father. Emotional consequences. Before we delve into that, this is what psychologists are saying. They say that adults who did not have fathers love and care, usually, number one, are more emotionally detached. Adults who did not have fathers, their fathers love and care, they're usually more emotionally detached. They are emotionally disconnected. They have difficulty establishing strong and lasting emotional bonds. Furthermore, many children of absent fathers repeat this behavior when they become fathers by themselves. And then there is also emotional insecurity. Due to emotional suffering caused by paternal absence, there are people who are most afraid of disappointment and abandonment. So they end up clinging to whoever is there, even if these people are hurting them. For example, in a relationship, it has become abusive, right? But this person will hang on because of insecurity, right? Because of their emotional suffering by the absence of the father in their upbringing. So they like hold on to whosoever is there, even if that may cost or cost my life. I'm going to hold on to this, and that's why we have one of the greatest I call pandemic today is what I think is called the emotional crime. I don't know how I'll say it in English, but I think it's called the emotional crime or love crime. It's whereby people kill themselves or their partner because of whatever they felt was not right in their relationship. And this used to be one of the highest crimes in countries like Brazil and also here in most part of Africa. In fact, this is a rising crime nowadays. People in relationship, when whatever is not going right, they end up killing themselves or they kill their partner, and this is because of this emotional insecurity. So the fear of abandonment can generate enormous emotional dependence in their relationship with other people. Number three, they are more likely to have a psychological disorder. Oftentimes, the suffering caused by an absent father can have several psychological consequences, such as depression, anxiety, and anorexia. Right? And then next, they are more likely to enter into toxic relationships, like I mentioned before. Due to low self-esteem and lack of affection, people who have not had a father present may have problems establishing healthy relationships. I'm sure some of us have heard that in the world today, as far as love relationship is concerned, we have two kinds of guys, the so-called good boys and so-called bad boys. And statistics says that 85% of women, and I've seen women in the world, they rather date 50% of the bad boys and leave alone the good boys. right? So all this war going on is because of emotional turmoil that people go through due to absent fathers or paternal or father figures in our lives, especially in our upbringing. So due to the fear of losing someone they love again, many people are not able to cut certain harmful ties, living abusive and unhappy relationships. Let us stay there. In my country, some women say, I'd rather have this guy, maybe as a fiance or as a husband, who abused me physically. I'd rather have him than having no one. You see what I mean? See, there's more fear of being alone or by myself than fearing being with this guy who abuses me physically and may even beat me to death. I'd rather die because I'm afraid of being alone. So this is chiefly caused, probably amongst other causes, is greatly due also to the absence of a father in our upbringing. So another emotional consequence that people who did not have fathers or father figures in their lives, they are more prone to addictions. We're talking about the abuse or addiction to drugs, to sex, gambling, shopping, and many others, you name them. They just find a way to compensate. Like there's an emptiness in my life, so I'll find something to compensate, like to fill in the gap, so to speak. So that's what they do. They're into gambling. And mind you, this happens to people from all sort of social classes, amongst the rich, amongst the poor, it just happens all over in our communities, in our societies. And this has been caused by back then and emotional emptiness. Because when we come into this world, God gives us parents who, amongst other things, are in charge of filling our life tank, our emotions, right? They pay school fees, they give us foods, clothes, etc. Wonderful. But in addition to that, there's got to be an emotional connection because we are also emotional people. Our emotions are part and parcel of who we are. So they have to fill our life tank, and most parents do not do. So we grew up, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to make ends meet and all that, but still there's an emptiness in me. So I avoid confronting myself, so to speak. So I delve into many activities, and most people go into what we call antisocial activities in order to fill the emptiness that their fathers might have dropped in their lives. Now, good news. What happens when a father is present in the life and education of his children? Number one, they have or develop the highest self-esteem possible. Number two, they are more emotionally secure. Number three, they are less likely to drop out of school. These are studies that are saying this. Number four, they are less involved with drugs. Number five, they develop healthier social and emotional relationships. When fathers are there, number six, people tend to become more empathetic. Number seven, they do better at school. Number eight, they have more emotional or better emotional intelligence. Number nine, there's greater probability of marrying intact and marrying someone that will make you really be happy. You guys will have a great relationship. Number 10, they are more likely to be a present and caring father and husband because his father was present. So when he becomes a father, his father was a present husband and the present father. So he drinks that from the father. So when he is older tomorrow, or grown up tomorrow, and ready to will start a family, then he becomes a father or a husband. He will be a present husband. Then time comes, he becomes a father, he will be a present father. The power of fathers. Number one, fathers are destiny shooters. I don't know if this is right in English. I remember I said I'm from, we speak Portuguese in my country. So destiny shooter is like someone who's got this, you call in English, you call slingshot or something like that. You go like a pool, you got this like a V, you know, then you go like this. So you got a stone at the end of this hand, and see, you pull it back and then you release it and it goes. So this is what fathers do. They sort of pick their children. This stone becomes their children, and they begin to shoot, you know, showing direction and the destiny to their children. It is how powerful fathers are. Not that mothers can do, but it's something that probably or mainly fathers can activate in their children, especially when you're talking about boys, like male, right? Male, like male, a male child, a boy, and then a father. Mama can, the many things mama can do, but there are things like guys things, so to speak, you know, quote unquote, that fathers can activate in their boys. So, but now I'm talking about destiny, how far a son can go, how far a young man can go. Fathers play a major role in designing that, and also into, slinging the sword in them, Pardon me for my English, please. Number two, parental choices and these decisions can have a generational effect. Number three, the biggest crisis men face is the lack of a fatherhood model today. Some people, sometimes it may seem very easy, but it's not really. Someone grows up without a father, and tomorrow he has to be a father. In reality, he doesn't know what it really takes to be a father. His system did not experience that. His system doesn't know that, except the general rules: pay school fees, food on the table, clothes. That's all. But mankind is not just the physical aspect. We have also the solical aspect that comprises as well of the emotion. We also the spiritual aspect, and the things in these aspects that probably fathers can best activate in their children, especially boys, that probably mamas may activate, but maybe not as deeper and as profound as males, as fathers could do. Number four, fathers produce character. Number five, children reproduce their father's behavior. Is this very important? In my country, some fathers, when they are boozing alcohol, they send their kids to go and buy for them the next bottle. You see? And then this kid is just still a child, 4 years old, 5 years old, can go into the next corner to purchase, alcohol for the father to drink. You see? And fathers, when this young man grows, the child grows, he is now a teenager. He becomes a drunkard at the age of 15. Then the father says, how can you become a drunkard at 15? You should have been at school. So the father does not or forgets that when this young man was 5 years old, he, the father, used to send him to go and buy alcohol. You see? So because fathers don't understand that children reproduce the behavior of their fathers. So fathers instill character, but also fathers instill behavior in the children. But number six, also fathers transmit language. I mean, how you speak. If you're going to speak politely or aggressively, are you going to use a proper language or vulgar language? Fathers are the ones that do influence the most that in their children's lives and destinies. There are some people that they can't speak without speaking a vulgar language, without speaking what they call an insult, without demeaning other people. For example, they can't just say 2-3 words without bringing it, not just a slang, but an offensive word. And sometimes they take it for granted, like we are cold, we are young people, we are teenagers and stuff. But that those kind of speaking those words, they enter in their subconscious mind and becomes part and parcel of who they end up becoming or being in life. Number seven, fathers transmit or create belief system in their family, in their children, but also do help them establish or create their philosophy of life. And then let's go to number 8. Parents teach by example, like I said. You see, everything a father does, I think it is Miles Monroe said this. Everything a father does is a classroom for his children. Mothers do nurture and care. Fathers set standards. Number 9, fathers teach their son how to love their wife. Guys learn from their fathers how a man should treat his wife. If the father is a wife beater, there is a greater chance and possibility for this young man or child to become a wife beater tomorrow. In fact, it is proven that most wife beaters came from homes where their fathers used to beat their mothers. And it's a proven fact that most women that believe that aggression, physical aggression is love, they come from homes where their father used to beat their mothers. So when this young girl, she grows up, she's 21, 25, doesn't matter, she finds this guy wants to marry her, and they date and they get married, and this young man never hits her, what does she say? He doesn't love me. Because her reference of love is aggression, which she drank when she was a baby or a child from her father's or parents' relationship. So your love is determined by the love you have received. And your value is determined by the value placed or transferred unto you. Number 10, fathers transfer self-esteem. They transfer and they teach their children, sons, how to love themselves. A father can only love his son in the same way he was loved by his own father. This is where sometimes this saying works that says, you can't give what you do not have. You can only love as you're being loved. Number 11, fathers create or build obedience in their children, and they transmit knowledge and the life instructions. They build obedience in their children. They transmit knowledge and also transmit life instructions. Number 12, fathers set standards for friendships. One man asked this question. If you're a father and you have friends, would you allow, I think it was Miles Monroe, if I'm not mistaken, he says, would you allow, what would happen if your friends were the friends of your sons? Would you be comfortable with that? Most fathers will say, no, my friends can't play with my children. So this is important to understand. Fathers set standards for their children. And number 13, fathers, according to King Solomon, are to leave an inheritance and a legacy for their children. For your attention, thank you so much.